Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailySheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So the newscientist.com has a fantastic article. 1 day without notifications changes your behavior for 2 years, they say. Oh, this is pretty interesting because you know how hard it is for people oftentimes to become detached from their smart devices. People have become so dependent on them that just not having them, just not having that notification go off every once in a while, actually sends them in almost like a withdrawal, if you will. Very interesting. Timothy Ravel writes, look at me, there's no denying apps are needy. Every time you glance at your cell phone, there's another demand for your attention. And apps don't care if you're already using one of their brethren, ruthlessly jockeying to get you to switch your focus. So why not just turn them off? To try this, Martin Pelot of Spanish telecommunications firms Telefonica and Luis Rello of Carnegie Mellon University over in Pennsylvania decided to create the Do Not Disturb Challenge. 1 week, my friends, 1 week without notifications. But, interestingly enough, Pelot says that they couldn't recruit anybody to take part. He says, we just got empty, horrified stares. And so we backed down to just 24 hours. And although a day without notifications might not seem that long, it was enough for 30 participants to notice a sizable effect. People worried they were being less responsive and were generally more anxious about the fact that they were missing something. On the flip side, though, they were less distracted and much more productive. Isn't that interesting? It says the biggest indicator of how stressful someone would find the experience was the social expectation on them. Listen to this, quote, if people don't think of you as likely to respond quickly, you are unlikely to feel stressed during the challenge. But if you have a boss who expects a quick response, well, then things were very different, according to Pelot. Now, after the challenges, 2/3 of the participants said that they would change how they manage their notification. Surprisingly, half had actually stuck to their goal 2 years on, suggesting that even a short, enforced holiday is a powerful intervention. The results will be presented at a conference on human-computer interaction next month in Austria. It says, we need all the help we can get. Quote, if you have notifications constantly grabbing your attention, we know that you're more likely to make mistakes and you're less likely to get stuff done, according to Anna Cox of the University College of London's Interaction Center. And because of all this, it's important to find ways to manage not just your notifications, but also the tendency to check them. So Cox suggested putting small hurdles called micro-boundaries between you and the behavior that you're trying to reduce. This could be as simple as turning off email notifications, or even Facebook notifications, Twitter, that kind of stuff. Just shut it off and then schedule a time for yourself to be able to check them once a day, twice a day. I mean, if you're like a hardcore, you got to check it every 5 minutes and do it, just start gradually stepping yourself off. It's almost akin of trying to deal with withdrawal. Okay, so if you enter into a withdrawal state or something like that, where you've been on, say, a medication for a long time and you got to wean yourself off, it's the same type of concept. But there's no doubt that these devices, through their notifications, have changed the way people behave. And people have become almost attached to their smart devices in one way, shape, or form. And with 5G coming around and the Internet of Things taking hold, it's only going to get worse. It's going to become part of our lives, almost entrenched in every facet of our lives, down to, you're going to have a smart refrigerator, a smart dishwasher, all your stuff is going to be smart. Everything's going to be smart, and it's going to change the way people do things. Is that necessarily a bad thing? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's how we implement it and how we do it. As long as it doesn't have a detrimental effect and you're able to be productive still. And I'm not saying productive in a slavery type of way. I'm saying productive for yourself, bettering yourself, doing things to, take advantage of the time that you have, exploring your interests. It's very hard to do that if you're constantly doing this all day long. So just food for thought. It might be a cool little experiment for you to do, but Set limits, micro boundaries, if you will, Determine that, hey, every couple hours I'm going to check it. But in the meantime, in between that time, I'm not going to do it. Or like she says, just turn off your email notification. Turn off your Facebook notification. Reduce the amount of notifications that you may be experiencing so that you can experience a little more productivity and maybe a little more clarity. Who knows? It worked for the people in this study. It could work for you. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.